speaker, Eunny Jang, is a true believer in the promise of craft and creativity. The idea that handmade values, combined with today's connectivity, can become a powerful agent for social change. She lives and works in the Colorado Front Range, where she explores the intersection of new media platforms and old-time honored crafts every day. Please welcome Eunny Jang.
So, creative potential. For such a small phrase, it carries a lot of baggage with it, doesn't it? You know, when I think about creative potential, there's always this feeling of something untapped or something that's waiting. Well, don't wait. And to help you, I'm going to tell you about how the single biggest barrier to creativity, access to knowledge, was finally torn down. So to give you some background, I work with a very literal interpretation of creativity. I work in the craft market, dealing with kind of the making of things. And one of my heroes is William Morris. William Morris was, of course, the greatest champion of the arts and crafts movement. He saw that with the Industrial Revolution, technology for making things, which had always been used to help craftsmen do what they do, was becoming increasingly focused on mechanization and efficiency. And he wanted to reject that and preserve human skill instead. Well, you know how that story ended. As a design aesthetic, arts and crafts is alive and well, but from a social and economic perspective, mass production definitely won the long game. So it looks like individual makers have lost at first glance, but actually, technology is helping arts and crafts values, handmade values, move faster and reach more people than ever today. In this new craft revolution, the single most powerful, most transformative new technology for making things belongs to everybody. Where knowledge used to be kept by individuals or guilds or factories, today the web is enabling makers everywhere to share ideas and best practices and experiences with anybody who's interested. The phrase craft blog returns 261 million hits on Google. And here's what you'll find at those craft blogs. Incredibly detailed photo tutorials about quilting techniques, or research into knitting history that seems esoteric even to me, or social experiments that really push seamstresses to think about what they're making and why. Or look at Ravelry.com, which is a niche social networking site for knitters and crocheters. It's a space that could only exist on the web, where designers and experts and icons and legions of knitters are all participating and sharing information in this totally organic way. And in just a few years, Ravelry's grown to having over 2 million, yes, with 6 zeros, active users. But that's just yarn. Maybe you want to be a metalsmith, okay? Or you want to learn about watercolor techniques. We can do that. Or maybe you need to work through your beginner glass blowing questions with somebody. Well, here are 13,000 somebodies who all want to help you. The amazing thing about all the examples that I've just shown you is that they're all independent. They're run by one person or by a handful of people who are just really passionate about what they do. They might make it pay with advertising or sponsorships, but their real currency is information exchange. Individuals teaching individuals. And it's exactly this kind of boots on the ground, peer-to-peer knowledge sharing that's shaping and innovating and breathing new life in the very old crafts. So what does all this mean? Well, for one thing, it means that grassroots, accessible arts cultures are a real thing happening all around you right now. Making things for fun used to be seen as a kind of privileged activity. It used to take a lot of time and money to learn how to do anything new. But today, with the web, anyone with access to the internet and a resourceful spirit can learn to do the basics of any craft and do it meaningfully, and then teach someone else in turn. And so our arts communities are becoming more vibrant and more sustainable, more varied with every new artisan and every new perspective. It means that those arts and crafts values, authenticity, intention, cherishing the work that human hands can do, are reaching people everywhere. We saw earlier how technology came to divide artisans from markets, but today it's bringing them back together. And more people than ever are really thinking about the worth of things and the value of the people who make them. So maybe the revolution will be knitted, or cut out with a jigsaw, or thrown on a potter's wheel. And it means that there's nothing stopping you from becoming a maker, from using your hands and adding beauty and usefulness to the world. Be inspired by one of the talks you'll hear today. go online and poke around in our collective storehouse of knowledge. And then turn off your phone and your TV and make something. Turn your creative potential into creative action. Just remember to leave your web browser on so you can pass on what you learned.